Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome back to more Farthest Frontier in the settlement of Gimliesburg. In the last video, we expanded a fair bit with planning out a new neighborhood, some additional farms, we got healing, we got schools, we got parks, and upgraded houses all over the place. Things are looking pretty good for us, but we're certainly not in the best of spots. I'm mostly looking at my food and thinking, that could become a bit of a problem, especially as our population continues to grow. It certainly seems like in this game, as soon as you build a house, it doesn't take more than a year to fill it. So pretty much, if you want to control your population and make sure you're not growing too fast, you should be only building out new houses when you actively have a plan on where to put that labor to use. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a pretty massive pool of laborers and not a whole lot of value to gain out of them. That said, we have got some other production chains we've been working on, and we can continue expanding on that today. We are now producing some clothing at the Weaver and at the tannery. We are making shoes, we're fletching new bows and arrows, and we are making earthenware at the Potter building. Not necessarily for the purpose of making our people happy, because they aren't demanding pottery as of yet, but mostly as some sort of a trading good, which I can use to make a bit of extra gold and maybe buy something later that I find that I am lacking in some way or another. Did I have 0 gold here before? I don't recall having 0 gold here before, but maybe I did. I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll come back to some of that later. All right, so what else do we want to work on today? Well, one thing I am very keenly aware of is we've been seeing some diseases cropping up lately. Not just rabies, which I can't do a lot about, but also things like typhoid. And there are other diseases in the game, like worms, if you walk around barefoot, or maybe influenza. The best way to make sure that you don't get sick is probably to build out a soap shop where we will convert firewood, animal tallow, and herbs into soap and keep people nice and hygienic and clean. So I'm going to be building one of these out over here, because once again, this kind of does reduce desirability by a lot, so we should just place it in the condemned industrial zone over Myaw. And then using that, we will hopefully keep everyone nice and happy and healthy. Another thing I want to do is I want to clear out this wolf den if possible. So I know I said earlier that if you attack a wolf den, it spawns a bunch of wolves to attack you. I'm no longer completely convinced that that's true. It certainly seemed to me from my first test with this that it did that. I went through and I attacked it, and as soon as I landed the first punch, 3 wolves came out and attacked me. But then in a second attempt at this, I was actually able to destroy it without any problems. So I think I might have gotten very unlucky with the first one, which led me to come up with an incorrect conclusion. What I want to do is definitely kill off whatever wolves are currently out here. Namely this one right here, if we can get to it. I don't know. There it is. Kill that one. See if we can kill off these wolves. And then maybe we can destroy this den before it becomes a problem. It does say that there are still more wolves in here. This would be great if it were not, I think. So for now, I think we just kind of leave it alone. Let the rest of the wolves come out sometime later this spring, and then we'll come back here and we'll finish them off. Oh, wait, never mind. Hang on. That might be them right there. There's 2 more wolves. Let's go ahead and shoot them. Do we not have any bows and arrows? Because I thought we did. It's certainly acting like we don't all of a sudden. Hang on. Now it's gray. Can we just destroy the wolf den? Yeah, see? And there goes the wolf den. No wolves respond. Okay, so I definitely just came up with the wrong conclusion before. But now we've corrected that. Once you clear out whatever wolves are over there and the thing turns gray, that's it. It's depleted at least until next year. We can destroy it. Now, I could have left the wolf den. That could have translated into some extra pelts and stuff for me. But it was making it very difficult for me to safely access the deer up in this direction. And there are a lot of deer that I want to kill. So I'm going to simply have at least one cabin set up over here, one over here. We might even build a third to join up over here, and we'll kind of just jump back and forth wherever there's a surplus. And now we don't have to worry about the wolves and the rabies getting us killed. So this should improve my food production just a little bit. Soap Workshop should be going up over here pretty darn soon, so we'll come back to that. I'm also planning out a little bit more industry in this direction, not only in terms of some storage, because I do think that having some further storage over here could be nice as we continue to expand and gather up materials, but also I've got a couple more forager huts. There are a lot of greens and other things that can be harvested over here, and I'm kind of tired of having to constantly move these forager huts all the way between different ends of the town. So let's just go ahead and have a local source of food being produced right over here. I also am anticipating we're going to need another one of these firewood splitters, because as the population grows and we get more housing, we're gonna need more firewood. Ah, there's a soap workshop. Okay, so yeah, 5 tallow, 1 firewood, 1 herb makes 5 soap. Okay, that seems kind of reasonable. This isn't something I plan on selling, though. I think I'm gonna need pretty much everything I can get here, so we'll just make a lot of this, and let's pray that we don't get a lot more typhoid. I mean, it's kind of difficult to prove a negative, but if we don't get a lot more diseases, I'm gonna say that that's having the desired effect. How are we doing as far as producing pottery? We've got 20 so far. I can go ahead and start transferring some of that stuff into the trading post in anticipation that we are going to be looking to make some money off of this in the future. In fact, I'll go ahead and say, like, store the first, like, 50 or so you make. How's that going to work out? That should be fine. Now, there are valuable purposes for these luxury goods, just not yet. If we do upgrade these houses to level 3, once we do actually upgrade our city center up to level 3, then I believe, a tip that I recently learned, every one of the luxury goods that is produced for a house can translate into extra taxable income. So you'll start consuming your own luxuries instead of selling them at the trading post, but you end up getting a lot of extra gold as a result. So there will come a point where it's definitely worth just making a bunch of these. Now, to that extent, something else I could start working toward is maybe candles. We could sell that in the short term to make some gold, or we can have luxuries once we do move up to tier 3. In order to make this, though, I'm going to need some beeswax. And here's a fun little thing I recently found out. Apiaries are tiny little things that only take up one space, right? Very, very small. But you can see this radius around here. They can produce honey and they can produce beeswax. And these don't require any workers to keep them up and running. So if I place one right over here, for example, yeah, I'm going to lose one farm tile. Big freaking whoop. But you can see here with all this yellow glow, it benefits from all the flowers that are going to be inside of all the crops, as well as some people's homes. Like level 2 homesteads actually seem to produce a fair bit. And I'm not going to require any workers to keep this going. It's just passive beeswax and honey. We probably should be placing these all over the dang town. 9 people have arrived at the village and want to immigrate. My God, 9. Okay, we'll let them in. Good news is I can easily build up some additional homes to support all of this. Downside is that's a lot of hungry mouths to feed, so I really had better find some use for them. But at least this brings me up to 12 laborers now, so I'm just trying to keep around that level. I feel like around 10 laborers is about as many as you'll really want to work with. One problem I am having is gathering up enough stone. You can see we're down to nothing over here. This is a complaint that I have been seeing in the reviews for this game, as people are saying there aren't really enough ways to get stone in particular. Because I don't believe there are any resource gathering buildings that are designed for stone, except of course for the work camp, but you'll understand why that doesn't matter in a minute. You've got things like your iron mines or gold mines and so on. You'd think that maybe those could provide some stone. You'd think there might even be a quarry, but no, there is not. The only option is to gather stone off of the surface of the world, and of course the more you gather up, this isn't a regenerating resource, the further away you need to travel. That's where you would place down things like these work camps and assign people to work over here, and they just keep gathering up resources and bringing them to the work camps, and then you have to have them transported back and forth between the town. But again, like, it's non-renewable. At some point, you just keep going so far away, it takes forever to get any meaningful amount of stone, and that's starting to frustrate a few people. I would not be at all surprised if we see a quarry added into the game at some point in the future. Villager stricken with fractured bone. Are you stricken, really? I mean, you injured yourself, yes, but stricken? I think of, like, stricken by the plague, stricken with Spanish flu. Stricken with a fractured bone. The guy just dropped his hammer or something and maybe fell off a ladder at the same time. That's all that happened. That seems completely avoidable. It's not stricken. You're not struck. I'm trying to build up the fertility in this very large crop field over here. It's gonna have some trouble. My experience, the clover only seems to increase fertility by about maybe 2-3% or so. And you can reduce it by about 5 or 6 for every round of, let's say, wheat that you grow, which can be a little bit painful. So it certainly seems like if you really want to go to a grain-based economy, which isn't even really a bad idea, you need to spend a full year of just clovering, and then maybe you can grow some wheat, and then maybe kind of mix some stuff around, and that kind of ends up being about an even thing. I don't know. I do think we want to try messing with this. Let's go ahead and get rid of the leeks, and we'll move on to some form of grain. Do we want to do wheat? It's very good at tolerating the heat, pretty good against frosts, not good against weeds, very bad for fertility, and depends on a very fertile soil, which we don't have. So wheat seems kind of meh. Contrast that with rye, which is just as tolerant, is not as dependent on fertility, and doesn't even hurt it as much. It just takes longer to grow. No, it actually takes about the same amount of time, and it's better at suppressing the weeds. This just seems better in general. I'm pretty sure the overall yield of wheat is better, but because it's so much more dependent on other environmental factors, I think rye is going to be the winner for us. Rye bread can be delicious anyway, right? Buckwheat is another alternative option, lower crop yield, but doesn't impact things like fertility very much and is not dependent on fertility very much at all. In fact, maybe for our first round of crops, nah, we only got space for one thing. Fine, we'll go ahead and do some rye. Let's just try out some rye. Let's try out some rye and see how that does for us. Now, of course, if we are going to be growing rye, we are going to need a way to mill that rye down into a grain we can convert into bread. We did buy some heavy tools as of the last video, so now I can place down a windmill, which does, of course, reduce desirability because apparently people don't like living next to windmills. It's their own loss, in my opinion. Windmills are pretty awesome. Do we want to set it up over here? I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think there's such a thing as, like, wind speed to worry about, so something over here is probably going to be fine. I do want to leave a little bit of space for a granary not far away, but let's go for this. We'll set that up over there, and then we'll just get a nice, there we go, little road down over here. Sure, why not? Seems good. All right, so we're going to mill that stuff up. That's going to take up my heavy tools, but it was well worth it. We spent 300 gold on that sucker. Then we're going to need a way to take that flour and turn it into food, and that occurs at the bakery. The bakery actually increases desirability, so we want to be placing it closer to the center of town. Maybe out over here would be fine. Does seem to impact quite a few buildings by doing that. Yeah, I like that idea. Let's go ahead and do that, and I think we are also going to need a well nearby. Maybe just directly across the street would do. Sure, why not? Yep. Reason being, of course, you need water, plus you need the flour in order to make the bread, so we might as well try to reduce the travel time as much as possible. All right, it's going to take a little while for us to see a lot of fruition in this investment, but when we do, I'm hoping we're going to have a really nice, reliable source of food, because so far, we're kind of starting to run really dangerously low. So how are my new little bees doing down over here? Oh man, they're swarming! Gosh dang, that's terrifying. All right, so we're getting a small amount of honey and wax so far. Not really amounting to all that much, but again, no workers required means this has been totally passive for me so far. And that little bit of extra wax could make a few candles. So I do think that's something I'll want to do. The question is, it's something I want to do right now. Let me think about that for a minute. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get a charcoal kiln and see how this will work for me. Charcoal can be used instead of coal when needed. Can it be used to heat houses? Because that would make sense. And is it more efficient or effective than firewood? Because that's how it is in a lot of other games. I just don't know if that's the case here. An armory is definitely not something I need right now. Candle shop, weaver building we've already got. Potters, apiaries we've got. Sand pit. Could work on a gold mine. We do technically have a gold ore deposit up this way. What about things like coal? It looks like you can actually place coal wait a minute, what? This is just minerals in range. You can place a coal mine wherever you want, but that doesn't mean it has anything. What's up over here then? Iron ore has been detected in that direction. Okay, that's useful. Anything else that I know of as of yet? No. Okay, so if I want to start extracting iron, that is a thing we could do. And a bit of iron ore, presumably smelted, would be pretty useful for some tech upgrades, because I actually do kind of need iron. Is that more gold? Looks like it is. There's actually a lot of gold off in that direction, too. Man. I'm not sure that's what I need to work on right now, but it's good to know that it does exist. Let's go ahead and build a granary. This is something I said I was going to do. If you're going to have grains, you want to have a dedicated place to store them, ideally close to the windmill, so they don't have to walk very far to continue getting some more grain to mill down into flour. And the reason you want a granary is not only for dedicated storage, but also regular root cellars or something like that. You place a whole load of grain in it, you're going to attract rats. And you don't want to attract rats. You want to make sure that you have that stuff stored nice and high and out of their reach. What's this, by the way? We have a new icon. There's apparently some compost ready. Oh, okay, we can fertilize. Do you want to add compost to this large field? Yes, I think we do. Let's go use up a whole load of compost. They'll just wheel that stuff over here, and we should boost our fertility rating by, it looks like, 5%. Predators sighted. Oh, great. Another bear wandered into the town. Oy. Anyone got any bows or anything? Where's my hunter when needed? If I toggle garrison villagers, does this help me in any way? I don't think people are going to go deal with what I want them to. We can turn that off. I mean, we may just want to accept that the bear is going to eat his food and he's just going to get away with it. I'm not sure there's a lot I can do about it unless I can find my dang hunter. Yeah, that's right, child. Retreat. Where are my hunters? Hunters! I like that it literally rummaged through the house and just knocked a bunch of things over. There's their soap, their firewood, their herbs, things the bear doesn't want to eat, but just like threw it all over the place. That's kind of cool. Where are you going now? Oh, great. You're going. That is a freaking bear. Run. Run away from bear, please. Oh my gosh. This grocer is retreating directly closer to the bear as well. I've sent my hunters to go and hunt this sucker down. Not sure if it's going to work or not. Yeah, everyone's just running away from the bear. You know, sometimes a bear strike just hits like lightning, you know? They just sort of appear, they steal your food, and then they run off. That's the way of them. Mysterious creatures. 9 raiders sighted. Uh-oh. 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 Okay, hang on. We got a bunch of raiders. We have a pretty good idea where they're all gonna go. Answer is probably right here, actually, because this is kind of where all of my gold is currently being stored. Can we transfer some gold over here, please? At least, like, a good chunk of it. Can we do that, like, now, please? This has got to be a high priority. I'd like to get the gold out of here so that they try to split their attention. Now, I want to pay attention here, actually, to the AI, of the raiders themselves and see exactly what's happening. And Rihanna, a hunter, appears to be in a bad spot, should not have been there, and is now going to be getting killed. This hunter, on the other hand, who, by the way, is stricken with rabies, is going to take out her frustration on the last of these guys, which I find absolutely hilarious. That's right. Get him! Beautifully done. Wow! Freaking Ariana, man. She's going out with the bang. Anyway, I want to pay attention to them, though, because while they definitely are attacking people in their path, it seems like for the most part they ignore them and instead pursue the location of wherever the gold is being stored. If that is right here, for example, then I suspect they're mostly going to attack this, or they attack the city hall. One of the two. So right now, yeah, they're running around and attacking a few people. They're not doing a whole lot. Never mind, there's no gold over here and they're attacking it anyway. It definitely seems like they prioritize the town center, the trading post, and then anywhere else your gold might be stored, and then they just try to kill anything else they can get their hands on. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. I don't know if that's a fair assessment or not. And a few of them are going to escape. Looks like 5 this time. So not nearly as good as it could have been. That's not great. All right, so we killed 4 raiders. No, it says the raider size was 4. That's not correct. It also says they pillaged nothing. I'm not sure I believe that. Okay. And we have our first round of typhoid in a while. Lovely. Okay. 9 more people have arrived at the village. My God. Okay, I'm gonna try for it, but this feels a little bit overly aggressive if I'm being completely honest with you. All right, let's just go ahead and build out a couple more houses. That's all we need. But after that, I feel like we really need to chill out and not do anything for a little bit. Just keep building out the decorations and stuff, you know? Get some more firewood being produced, anything. I don't care, but no more babies, no more immigrants. 100's probably the most I can possibly handle right now. So how has our rye harvest gone so far? It looks like out of the 1,400 we planted, we actually were able to get about 1,300. That's almost perfect. So that is an absolute ton of grain that should be getting stored over here. Yeah, we got a lot of grain making its way over here. That's actually almost in a full granary right like that. Perfect. All right, so what can we look forward to as far as food? 10 grain becomes 10 flour. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio over here. Okay, so we should be able to make about 1,300 flour now. Here's the bakery I just finished. It looks like it's 10 flour and 2 water and some firewood becomes 10 bread. So I think I just harvested enough grain to make 1,300 food, if I'm not much mistaken. That should be enough to keep us going for like a while, right? Yep, school got built. Okay, so we can handle a influx of new children, and that was enough to go ahead and start upgrading a bunch of homesteads. Wonderful. We can actually see what comes out of upgrading a homestead. If you look over here, there are upgrade bonuses. We can see there's a larger happiness bonus from the desirability, not to mention increased durability. Once they're ready to move on to level 3, you also would get additional housing capacity in addition to more happiness and durability, and it does warn you what those upgrade costs will be. So something worth keeping an eye on. I'd like to know why this particular shelter seems unable to upgrade. Not enough food types? Dude, we've got plenty of different types of food in this this settlement. There's really no reason after all this time you couldn't have gone and grabbed some different types of food. Eat some vegetables one day and a steak the next. How hard is it? Oh my gosh, I've got 18 laborers right now. 18? Yeah, that's way too many. Okay, I need to find some good uses for them. Can we, like, make bricks or something? Is that a thing? I think we were able to do that. Apiary, no, that's charcoal, armory, blah, 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 blah. Did that come later? Furniture, foundry, blacksmith, brickyard. Yeah, that comes later. Darn it. Trying to find some other good uses for some of my clay, since I think we're producing plenty of it. What about the charcoal kiln? Why don't we just try it out, okay? We can try a charcoal kiln and see exactly what it does, and whether this is something we want to actually make use of. Oh man, finally! A trader has come through who wants to buy all of my pottery. I love it! Alright, let's go ahead and offload a whole load of this stuff. Oh man, we get some serious muns. We get some serious muns! 1,700! Yee! Sell it. Alright, so that's gonna be plenty of money I can work with. What are you selling out of curiosity? You've got iron. See, I actually could use some iron to build a few things, so this seems pretty good. Let's buy at least 50 or so, and we'll transfer that into the town. And something I wouldn't mind having might be some tools. We have none. I don't know if tools are necessary for people to do their job effectively. It seems like the sort of thing that would be true, but I don't know. Well, we got a little bit of extra cash sitting around. Let's buy at least a handful. Let's buy, like, I don't know, 20 or so tools. Transfer those on in as well. And we'll keep an eye on this and just kind of see. We can look at our resources in storage, and there's the tools, and actually, yeah, they're immediately being grabbed, which means somebody needs them. Okay, I don't really know what you use them for, but I'm guessing it has something to do with work efficiency. That's something that could be better explained to the player, I believe. But that probably also means we want to start producing some of these ourselves at some point. Now, what is this? Our hunter cabins can be upgraded. Hello. What does this do? Additional item recipes and durability. It costs me some of that iron I just bought. And a lot of gold and some wooden planks. Increased item recipes? What does that mean exactly? Can we hunt other types of things all of a sudden? Boar and regular carcasses. Hello. I don't think I've seen boar yet. Is that something I want? Maybe. Let's first spend my iron on the other stuff. So one thing I wanted to build was a vault, a secure place to store my gold. And I want to place it over here, relatively close to the town center, because I'm willing to bet that the raiders going forward are probably going to be attacking this vault because they know that's where all the gold is going to be stored. And I want it to be within range of my town center so we can start just punishing them for it. And by punishing, I mean shoot an arrow through their gizzard. Oh, we have a charcoal kiln set up. Okay, so 5 firewood becomes 4 coal. It seems like the sort of thing that's going to cost me a lot of firewood. I might want to set up another one of these splitters over here nearby. It's a good convenient location, but coal, though. Like, how good is coal really? I don't know. There doesn't happen to be, like... I don't see an encyclopedia. Maybe there is one somewhere, though. No, not there. Automatic building upgrades. Oh, I didn't know I could turn that off. Oh, what do you know? Okay, well, we figured out a way to turn that sucker off. Yeah, I would love to know if there is a lot of point for us to have coal, and if it can be used as a way to heat a house more effectively than firewood. That's what I would like to know. I'm not sure if we're ever going to find out the answer. Let's go ahead and upgrade these hunter cabins. Okay, it's going to cost me a lot. Yes, I am well aware. But I feel like if we can open up another type of animal that we will be able to hunt down, that's probably a good thing. Okay, so here's our first one, claiming they don't have any ammunition and bows. Well, I know I have them in the town, so you'll find them. Also, your storage is full. Animal trapping. Hello, we have been looking at trapping before and wondering how that was supposed to work, and now I understand a little bit. Okay, wait a minute. So we can produce meat, pelts, and tallow from carcasses. We can use iron to create traps. We can use small carcasses, probably from the traps, in order to get some extra pelts and meat. So iron turns into food, and then there's boars. Interesting, interesting. Okay. Do we even want any of these traps? Not yet. Only because I currently don't have a consistent source of iron. So there's not actually any point in upgrading all of these hunters' cabins. Because it's looking like I only need these 2 recipes, at least for the time being. You know something else I have not yet built? A basket shop. Yes, a tiny little basket shop with which people will be able to start fabricating their own baskets out of some sort of reeds or whatever the heck else I get. And that should increase carrying capacity, I believe. Let's see. Makes efficiency of your villagers by allowing them to carry more. Yeah, we should go ahead and produce these. Now, I don't have many sources of willow bushes. There's only a couple that I've seen so far, so I don't expect to get a lot of value out of this at all. But we do have like 32 willow right here, so, you know, maybe a couple here and there once in a while. I don't know. Is it possible to grow more of that? I mean, we can grow flax and stuff, but I don't think there's a way for us to grow our own willow bushes. So baskets, that's why it's been a low priority so far. As nice as it sounds, I'm not sure this is the right map seed to get plenty of baskets up and running. 10 more people want to immigrate? No, I can't allow that. My God, that is so many. I'm sorry. Look, I am all for immigration, okay? I think immigration's a fantastical thing. It's kept our economy thriving. We get everyone as far away from the authoritarian nobles back home as possible, all right? I'm a freedom revolutionary man. However, I have to be practical. 100 people is still hard enough for me to feed as things currently stand, unless I can start preserving a lot more food. We're doing pretty good at producing lots of vegetables. I can even produce a pretty good amount of grain. But bread and vegetables are very perishable, as opposed to all the smoked meats and fish. Maybe I need to be looking to get up to a level 3 town center sooner rather than later, so that I can work toward getting some sort of a preservist, or even a cheese maker. That could be fun. Here's a thought. What if I wanted to buy some cows? Is that something that would be making a lot of sense? Should we buy a couple of cows? It might open up some pretty good options for us. What do you feed a cow? I'm guessing maybe in this case some grain, or you could just let them graze, I suppose. 2 cows. Will they breed? Will I get more? Because that feels like the magic number. All I need to do is just offload a little bit of this pottery at a not as good of a price, but a decent enough price, and then we could afford to buy some cows. All right, I'm sold. Let's go for it. We're going to buy ourselves 2 cows. Hooray! Transfer them into town. I don't know where yet, but do it anyway. Let's go to food production and see if we can figure out where to place a barn. Hello. All right, so a barn is this big building over Myaw. It looks like this would be considered to be very good grazing land, I'm guessing. Do I need to be placing down like fences or anything? Does this give me any more information? Cattle can be raised for food, hides, and milk. Cattle must be purchased from a visiting trader. Yes, I've got that. Thank you. So this would reduce desirability by a pretty hefty amount. We need to be aware of that. About this far away, so I have to move it about over here before it would be considered far enough away from our housing that it's not going to cause some problems. And before I end things in this video, let's go ahead and also place down that candle shop I had been talking about before. Over by the charcoal kiln, feels like it's just begging for us to melt all of the wax, but whatever, we'll give it a shot. Actually, you know what? No, let's just place it over here. I like this location a smidge better. All right, cool. We have predators as well. Oh, good. Great. It appears to be a bear. You're gonna die, Hilda. Can you please, like, run? Unless someone else can assist you. Do we have another hunter nearby? The answer is yes, I have 2 hunters nearby who should be able to help. Come on, shoot the bear, help me out here. Pew! Look at that. Oh my God, that was beautiful. 3 shots, look at that. Beautimous. Oh man, these guys are pretty good at what they do. All right, so we're gonna be getting this candle shop up and running. That's gonna be another source of luxury goods since I just kind of spent all of my money. We're gonna have this barn built up in no time at all, and we'll see how the cattle do. Here's my greatest fear. We just sunk a lot of money into cattle. I'll bet you the raiders come by and kill them the first chance they get. But you know what? We'll deal with that when we come to it. In the meantime, I feel proud about the progress we made today. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.